Okay, this is the 3.1 through 3.3 review. There's some warm-up problems here. These will be on tests. These are practice problems for your calculator. Type them in exactly as you see them. Same here. For these, you can use your calculator. For 13 and 14, make sure you convert to improper first. I think that'll help you when you type them in. So 3 times 2 plus 2 to convert that, 6, 7, 8. So that'd be 8 over 3 times 7 over 4. So you can actually type that into your calculator, and over here you can see it's the same one, but one's division. So as we're using our calculator, make sure you're typing that in correctly as far as the signs, plus, minus, things like that. So just to review, after you convert these, you can type 8 over 3. You can use this or 8 divided by 3, either one. So 8 over 3, and then I always hit that over arrow, times 7 over 4. And that gives you this. Convert that back to a fraction, and you get 14 over 3. So you're just using that button. Do that for all of those problems, and you should be okay. Pretty straightforward. Again, just calculator practice. For the next page, we get into what the bulk of Chapter 3 was about. You need to explain how you're doing these processes for these 4. So I'm going to run through them. For this one, we distribute first. This would be the box, so you can say distribute 4. All right, so if you don't know how to do that, also you can also just write what the step is. 4, 2x, negative 3. That gives me 8x minus 12. That's how I get that right there. From here, what I did was add 12. I added 12 to both sides. So you can either write it as add 12, or you can just write plus 12. And that's how we get to 24. Our final step would be to divide by 8 right here. So again, divide by 8 both sides. That's how I get the negative 3. So I'm looking to see that you can identify each of those processes. Over here, the first thing I do is combine like terms. 2 and 3 is 5. Once I do that, I rewrite. Then here, how I got here was I added 6. And then over here, I divide by 5. That's how I get my final answer is 4. All right, over here we can actually show the work, so you got to analyze what is different. Well, the 7x is there, this is missing, so I added 8 to both sides. Then I rewrite, I get 7x, 3x plus 20. Over here now I have to get the x's on one side, so I subtracted 3x. Rewrites to that, and I divide by 4. And then I get my final answer. So you're actually showing the work for these problems. Over here, we're clearing the fractions to start. What do we multiply each term by? Well, the easiest way to clear a fraction is to multiply by the common denominator. So 3 times 5 times 15 times 2. So we're multiplying each of them by 30 in this example. Whoops, not 35, 30. So then when we do that, and when we were doing this in class, remember we were taking like the 30 here and just noting how we were doing that. And you would do it by the negative 2 as well, even though it's not a fraction. You have to multiply everything. So 30 times 1 divided by 3, 10. 30 times 3 divided by 5, 18. 30 times 1 divided by 2, 15. 30 times 2, 60. From here, now we're back at a two-step problem. So what I did from here, if you can see that 10x is no longer on this side, how do you get rid of it? Well, I subtracted 10x. That's how I get 15 minus 10 is 5. All right, over here, I have an x term over here. I have a constant, so I have to get rid of that 60. You can see that that's gone. So I add 60. Just do the opposite. That gives me 78. And how do I get the final answer? I divide by 5. All right, again, so just showing your steps. One, you're writing in the steps what you're doing. One, you're just showing it as you go. All right, the last page, we're just actually going through and solving for these. So I'm going to go ahead and run through them. You can start wherever you want. A lot of people are going to add 2 to both sides, but it's wherever you want to start. I'm just going to start from left to right. So minus 3x from both sides, collecting the x terms on this side. So I have 4 equals 5 minus 3 is 2x minus 2. Constants over here, so now I have to get rid of this negative 2 by adding. So that would be 6 equals 2x. Undo the 2x by dividing. X equals 3. Use your calculator on these guys. All right, over here I have to distribute first. So 9x plus 3 equals 3x plus 3. If you need to set up the box to do that, go ahead, because I know a lot of you guys have been practicing with that. So 3 goes on the outside. X, 1, 3x, 3. That's where I get the 3x plus 3. You take that and you write it there. Now I have to get variables on one side, constants on the other, so I guess I'll just start with, let's do this. Let's subtract 9x from both sides. I'm just going left to right. So this will be 3 equals negative 6x plus 3. Now I need to get the constant over here. Subtract 3 from both sides. 0 equals negative 6x. What times negative 6 equals 0? You got the answer here, but we'll keep showing the steps. Divide by negative 6. So that equals 0 still. So x would, or 0 would be our answer. Over here, I'm going to multiply by a common denominator. So let's take out our calculator. 4 times 3 times 7. That's what I'm going to do to figure out what I'm multiplying each of these by. 4 times 3 times 7. Those are all my denominators. That equals 84. So I'm multiplying every one of these by 84. This will clear the fraction for us. So 84 times 1 divided by 4. Here we go. 84 times 1 divided by 4. That gives us 21. 21x. 84 times 1 divided by 3. Just going through the motions. 84 times 1 divided by 3. 28. Plus 28 equals 84 times 10 divided by 7. 84 times 10 divided by 7. That gives us 120. Alright, so now I have a problem without the fractions, nice and neat. I need to get rid of this 28 because I only have the x term over here. So let's isolate that x term by getting rid of the 28. 21x equals 120 minus 28. Gives us 92. Final step in this problem, divide by 21. I have x equals 92 divided by 21, whatever that is. 4.38 and all that stuff. So, or we can just leave it as 92 over 21 because that is the reduced fraction. So either one, 4.38 if you want to round to the nearest hundredth, or 92 over 21. Alright, next problem. So put a nice easy two-step one in there. Again, we have the x term here, constant, constant, get rid of that 6. 10x equals 70 minus 6 be 64. And we are going to divide by 10, both sides. 64 divided by 10, 6.4. Alright. So that is how you do those problems step by step. You have number 28 down here, so we can go over that one. This is a just a word problem that I threw in there, but I also did the setup for you. This would be a situational, how you could view these types of problems. You have to pick from one of two phone plans. One is $34.99 a month plus unlimited data. The other is $19.99 a month plus 3.25 per gigabyte of data. What amount of data would you have to use before spending more money? with the 1999 plan. So this is the setup that we have for this, and we just need to solve for x now. How would we do that? We have to isolate that x term, so get rid of the 1999 from both sides. Those are our whole numbers. Let's take out our calculator again. Make sure you guys are using your calculators to double check your arithmetic. So 34.99 minus 19.99, it gives me 15 equals 3.25x. What do we do to get x by itself? We divide by it. 3.25. So our final answer, x equals 15 divided by 3.25. It gives us 4.61 or 60 over 13. So however you want to do it. Since we're dealing with decimals, I like to keep it as a decimal answer. So I'll call that 4.62. All right, so that would be your answer. The amount of data that you would have to use before spending more money with the 1999 plan would be 4.62 gigabytes of data.